All of my productions. I was in the crib and listened to a reverend talking about a live church and a dead church. Very, very in depth, very articulate, and very well said about the situation of church. This don't got nothing to do with just the central church as far as the black Christian faith. These two, excuse me, this is about all churches. And it's a reality. It's a reality we live in today. We have practitioners of the church and clergymen, deacons, and a congregation being led by materialistic ways. They ain't preaching, some of them are not preaching the true gospel. But who am I to judge? I'm just telling you, if it don't come from the book, if it don't come straightly from the book, if the people that supposed to help people that's in need ain't going out into the grassroots and praying for the sick and shut in like deacons supposed to do, it's like a protocol to everyone's occupation and what they're supposed to be doing in the church. If they're not doing the Lord's work to save souls, then I think that's a dead church. Meaning that if they just doing it, just like the man said, if they just there to entertain, dance, drawing a lot of people to their congregation and have fun all the time instead of preaching the word and trying to save people that is suffering out here in these streets, well, they just they're a church, meaning they're a materialistic church. They're a church that's not a church. And that's a kind of dangerous thing, because my belief system tells me a church is a vessel or safe house for people to come to change their life, because they've been on the other side of the track. Not for them to just go there and get worse and think it's just a fashion show and a club. So we got to be careful where we worship at, as far as the institutions and stuff, because sometimes where we worship at might not be all to the good. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there for you to elaborate on it and give me some feedback on it. Because, you know, the man was hitting home when he talked about the dead churches and the situation of the dead and alive churches. See, I'm a meat and potatoes man. I believe in grassroots. I believe in the grind. I believe in struggling. I believe in people from dusty men to clean men, to dusty women to clean women, to women that been in sex dens, to men that been in drug dens, to change their life the worst of the worst. That's when you have a good church. That's when you have a church that's for real. Especially if you know the person from around your neighborhood or anything like that, that's been living in sin, and you up in the church and you help them get up in there and they change their life, and you being a good servant of the church, you know, by doing that as an individual. That's what I'm talking about. But if you have church members, well as the people that run the church, that is all about money and materialistic gain and just filling the church up and living that mega million church thing, that's not a good church. In my opinion, that church is not good. So, I don't know, you know, just give me your feedback, give me your comments, tell me what you feel about this. This is not trying to beat down the ministers or nothing. It's about pointing out the facts and the dilemma of certain churches that are in that kind of vein of life, meaning that they practice, but they're not preaching what they practice. And like I said in the beginning of this video, this is not centralized only to the black Christian faith. This is to every nationality that practice the religion, okay? So give me your feedback.